Piriformis syndrome. What is it like? How it presents himself? How to treat it? What to do? Piriformis is located under the large gluteal muscle. It starts from the inner part of the sacrum and goes to the large vertebra of the femur. That's how it goes. This is the piriformis. It's also called a pear-shaped muscle. I guess someone called it because it reminded them of the shape of a pear. It's not very similar to a pear, though, but it's still called that. What's the meaning of this piriformis syndrome? It's when a spasm of this muscle occurs, as well as irritation of the sciatic nerve. The sciatic nerve is one of the largest nerves. It may even be the largest nerve in our human body. And the nerve passes right under the piriformis itself. The muscle tenses up, and the nerve that goes under this muscle starts to get pinched due to the muscle spasm. That's how the piriformis syndrome occurs. Muscle spasm, nerve irritation, and pain. The pain can be local in the muscle itself, right here, in its area. And with a strong enough spasm of tension of this muscle, it goes along the back surface of the leg. It can even reach the foot. In this case, the pain intensifies when a person lifts their leg forward and, well, does any movements that cause tension of the sciatic nerve. Initially, pain occurs when he lifts his leg, and then even when he walks and when his leg moves back, because instead of the gluteal muscle, his piriformis tries to work. Where does it all start? What makes the piriformis tense up? Why is there a muscle? It's just there, and all of a sudden it tenses up for no reason at all. Well, imagine you have a muscle, for example. Here, this is a group of muscles that bend your fingers, your finger flexors. Well, there are the superficial, deep finger flexors. It's not important. It's like this is one muscle, the finger flexor. You clenched your hand into a fist and it works. So, imagine something makes the piriformis tense up just like this, and such tension remains in it. It's very hard for a muscle to tense up on its own initiative. It doesn't want to do this of its own free will. What do you think makes our piriformis tense up like this? That's right. It's the weakness of the large gluteal muscle. The large gluteal muscle is located in this area. It starts with one part of this ridge of the sacral bone. One part starts with it, and the second part is attached to the sacrum. And this joint, see the sacroiliac joint, here it is stabilized by the gluteus muscle. It stabilizes, which means it holds it in a certain position. And this joint moves at a certain angle. The muscle itself controls it. So you take a step, you walk, you go, you move your leg. And at this moment, your gluteus muscle is also moving, and your pelvis is also moving back and forth. You're walking without any pain or issues. And then suddenly the gluteus muscle turned off. For what reason? For example, because you fell. Just like that, your vertebra shifted. The nerve that goes to the gluteus muscle is pinched. That's it. The gluteus muscle doesn't work anymore. But in this case, the piriformis will also not work because they are innervated from one place, from the L5 bone. That's why we can toss this example away. In this case, the piriformis syndrome will no longer develop. But what if you fell differently? You fell, for example, right on the joint, it fell apart, and the large gluteal muscle was turned off. Then the piriformis will try to hold it. Or, for example, you fell on the side like this. You fell on the side, And this joint here, the head of the femur, tilted into the acetabulum. The large gluteal muscle also turns off, and instead of it, the piriformis will try to work, trying to hold this joint. A acromioclavicular joint. And when the piriformis muscle is shortened, compression of the sciatic nerve occurs. That is, the weakness of the gluteal muscle itself is further intensified. What treatment do therapists, neurologists, and others suggest to us? They say, since our piriformis muscle is shortened and it compresses the sciatic nerve, why not relax it? They think this way, and they do it too. But okay, let's relax the piriformis muscle. What will happen to us? The sciatic nerve. It will stop being pinched, right? The piriformis muscle will stop pinching. These pains that were down the leg will no longer be here. The person will feel okay. But what about instability of this joint? It will strengthen because the gluteal muscle is weak. As a result, this joint completely loosens. The person had pain in one place, down the leg, but now he will have pain in other places due to instability. The joint itself will now hurt. Therefore, it's bad treatment. What's a good way to treat this? First, we have to turn on the large gluteal muscle so that it starts to hold the joint for us again, and only then remove the shortening of the piriformis. How to do this? To do this, we first need to find out why the gluteal muscle is weak. What happened to it? This could be either damage to the gluteal muscle at the attachment points, and we would need trigger points to be removed. Or it could be a problem with the sacroiliac joint, which increases the distance between the joint surfaces. In some cases, it may even be necessary to stabilize this joint with a special belt and then train the gluteal muscle. But in any case, when a person's gluteal muscle is not working, he stops using it, there is a weakness of some muscle. If this continues for long enough, a person develops an incorrect motor stereotype. He starts to take steps without using this muscle. The same thing happens with shoulder blade periarthritis. The deltoid muscle turns off and a person starts to lift his hand not with the deltoid muscle, but because the upper trapezius muscle kicks in immediately. And even after the deltoid muscle starts working again, the upper trapezius muscle still starts working earlier and interferes with the normal contraction of the deltoid muscle. That's why you need to relearn how to walk. Learn to walk correctly using the gluteal muscle. That's all.